On this episode of LGHL Access, we give you the Week 1 lineups of the week from each conference, along with our top 10 power rankings and a new segment with LGHL Access called the Rebel Corner. All this coming up right now. Bryson66 here, welcoming you to the first episode of LGHL Access for Season 22. Joined by some new faces, some weren't able to make it, so the ones did. We're very excited to bring you guys a new look to LGHL Access this season. Starting off at the bottom left, I am pleased to welcome the AHL legend and E. Rice. Thanks, buddy. Welcome. Rice.
Hey, how you doing, sir? I appreciate the opportunity, and I look forward to working with all you guys over the next week and trying to give you a couple scoops from the AHL and some other hot takes from down there in the bottoms of the fucking ocean.
That's right. You're joined us. Very nice of you to be able to get on with us while you're down deep in the ocean. Joined us. Very nice of you to be able to get on with us while you're down deep in the ocean.
It's tough down here, but all Akuta can do is swim. That's all we can do is swim. It's a long 9 weeks. I'll see you guys every week from here on out. Let's do it.
Sounds good to me, my man. All right, next up from E-Rice, we've got the Edmonton. I know main event would have a big issue if I didn't say that right. Left wing, we've got Rebel 2 Clutch. Most people know him as Fi. How's it going, buddy? Down from the south?
I like to smoke when I drink.
All right, thanks for that. Next one up, we've got another faithful.
I'll second that, sir.
Next one up from Fi, we've got Garrus. Garrus, how's it going, dude?
Good. Glad to be here. I don't know, it's kind of surprised being here. Yeah, kind of glad.
Surprised, kind of glad. All right. So
Yeah.
All right, good pieces. You guys are wonderful. All right, this show, we've got a good show ahead for you guys. We've got lineups of the week from the East and the West. We have a new feature for LGHL Access called the Rebel Corner. Will be brought to you by, of course, Rebel and E-Rice. You guys will see more of that later in the show. And we will end the show with the top 10 power rankings, so stay tuned. Welcome back, and here we are with the lineups of the week. We're going to start off with the East, and that'll be brought to you by Garrus. Garrus, take it away.
All right, so for our lineup of the week for the East, we'll start off with the right wing from the New Jersey Devils, the great Haxby. He had a 2-0-1 week with 12 points, 8 goals, 4 assists, and +4. He did beat New Jersey and New York, the Rangers. Moving on, we have Nice Pizza from the Florida Panthers. He did go 3-0 on the week, 11 points, 4 goals, 7 assists, +8. Some big wins against Montreal and New York and Toronto. Moving on to another Florida Panther is Montre. Also 3-0, 16 points, leads the league, 8 goals, 8 assists, +8. Same teams as Pizza. And then moving on to former Texas great Odie at right D. Another 3-0 week, 4 points, 1 goal, 3 assists, +1, playing against New Jersey, Montreal, and Tampa Bay. And then another Florida Panther, surprisingly enough, after people shit-talked them all year, is Dumba X55, 3-0 again, same teams as Pizza and Montre, 5 points, all assists, +8. And finally moving on to our goalie is Mindhunter114. He had a perfect 5-0 week. 88 save percentage and a 1.2 goals against. Beat some notables as Washington and Montreal. That is all for the East. Bring it over to Bryson for the West.
All right, before we take it to the West, Fi has gone missing. All right. Yeah, pretty lineup. Surprising with Florida. You're going to see a few guys in the West that also were another team that people I don't think we're going to think that we're going to do as well. Fi, do you have any take on the Eastern lineup?
Well, Florida with their 500K army was certainly a surprise in Week 1. Going through the lineup for the Eastern Conference this week, some notable names, of course, that you expect to be there. and certainly the surprises from Florida. So that's good to see.
Yeah, I mean, I wish them all the best. Obviously, I'm Western Conference, so it doesn't like really matter to me too much. I mean, obviously, but um, they could be getting third lines. I mean, I haven't really looked in the games too much, but I mean, overcome the adversity that they're dealing with. I kind of like to see them succeed, but through the long course of the season, I don't know how they're going to fare up if they,
There's a tell to how what's yet to come for them. They right now are dealing with 4 defensemen, so not sure what if any kind of surprises we're going to be seeing from Florida in the future. So, yeah, E-Rice, you got anything on the East?
That reception in the ocean is pretty good.
Definitely. I mean, you got some great veterans out there. Definitely making a start in week 1, coming out strong. Yeah, I believe it is. But it's tough down. Anyways, a couple great veterans. Montreal, Odie, Mindhunter's been around for a while. They should all continue to have a great season.
Played with Buffalo over the past couple seasons. He was a pretty good goalie. Next up, we got the West. I'm going to take it away here. Starting with one of the surprises. Coach is wasted. He put in a 3-0 week with 14 points, 6 goals, 8 assists. A big old whopping plus 14. I like what he did with the offensive side of the game. Took 6 penalty minutes, which isn't helpful for any player at all on the ice. But nice to see a amateur player in the NHL with the new statuses for players this season. Putting up some good numbers there for Minnesota and getting them off to a hot start. Speaking of Minnesota, let's move on to the Otter meme legend himself, AO Ice Javelin. He also went 3-0, put up 13 points, another plus 14. If by those numbers, I would say they're playing together. 2 PIMs, 5 hits. Good week for AO. Next up, we've got from H Wood, we've got the Kings, big Armor Core 13, going 3-0, picking up some big wins against my Oilers in an overtime against the Freak and GB line. Also beating Calgary 6-4. Calgary, I feel, is a pretty good team this season. So some solid numbers from that man on LA. Next up, we've got probably what are 2 of the better defensemen out of the gate here this season. We're going to start at right D with Replay Chris, playing 3 games this week, which is a surprise from the past. We all know Chris is normally playing the 2 games a week special. He put up 7 points, 1 goal, 6 assists, a plus 7. Did have 8 penalty minutes, a little high, but his points and his record overshadow that, so good week for him. Opposite of him at lefty, we've got official mark, Jay Hanna. He went 3-0, 9 points, all assists, plus 7, 4 PIMs, 3 hits. Picked up big wins against Calgary and Edmonton, so I believe he was playing with Armor. So a good week from the LA, mainly in LA and Minnesota, besides the lone Nashville Predator there at right D. And then at goalie, we've got the good old Remnato. Remnato went 4-2. I believe we didn't have any undefeated goalies this week. We may have had one, and that was Mindhunter. I'm not sure if he played tonight. If he did, then he is not undefeated this week. But Remnato 4-2. He put up 80.8 save percentage, a 2.8 GAA, faced an average of 10 shots per game. Wins came against Nashville, Dallas, Colorado, all very good teams. His losses were 1-goal games against Arizona and St. Louis, so 2 very good teams that they barely lost to. So good week for him. That's the West. I mean, looks mainly made up of 2 teams. One team that's taken everyone by surprise in Minnesota. What do you think of that lineup there, E-Rice? He is clearly drinking.
Does he live in the dome like Sandy Cheeks? I mean, like, how does that even work down there?
I don't. Fine, take it away.
No, I had the audio, dude. I had delay. I saw the mouth moving. I saw the mouth moving, but nothing else was coming out.
All right.
I mean, this is a pretty easy list to go over. Veterans like Ice Javelin, Replay Chris, Official Mark, Remnado. I mean, what else is there to say? Is this NHL 12? I mean, we gotta get some new names on that list. All the players in the West need to step up next week. Get up on there.
Yep, that's a
A
pretty
lot of
good.
good veterans out there. Time for a new generation.
I like that. That's a good way to put it.
Star Trek: The New
Like that.
Generation.
Sites coach wasted. Fi, your take?
Well, with all the Minnesota Wild guys on there, they look like they're going to be a formidable team this season. The guy that really jumps out to me is Remnado. He was top 5 in shots against this week. He's the starter for that team and playing all the top lines or the top teams for that week. It looks like they're going to rely on him a little bit. Anytime you're going to have under a 3 goals against average, particularly in this game, with the new mechanics that make it so offensively dominating, when you see 15-2 scores and stuff like that, you can keep it under 3. You had a good week, so keep that up, Renato.
Yaris?
Personally, as a Western Conference player, I think the stigma of the Eastern Conference usually being better than the Western Conference, I think that's changing this season. Certainly think the West, has probably as much talent as the East does. Like in our division, like Arizona, Edmonton, Calgary, LA, Anaheim, all those teams are all fighting for its playoff spot in the same division. So the whole Western Conference is going to be closer than people think this season. So personally, I'm up for it. It's going to be a competitive, conference. But for people who say the East is going to be better than the West, I think they're wrong. To be honest.
Yeah, I think it's early to tell to be saying that, but I agree with you. Based on ownership, management, and players that we've seen before, I think it's a safe prediction that the West is going to have a better outcome of talent than the East, at least this season, from what we're seeing in the beginning. But that wraps it up for the lineup of the week. Next up, we've got Rebel Corner, the new segment here on the LGHL Access show. Hope you enjoy.
Fellas, welcome to a new segment here this season on LGHL Access called the Rebel Corner. We're going to discuss some of the clutch performers this week, one from each conference, and find out who got her done for their team this week. All right, starting off, I might be a little bit biased during this segment, being I'm a forward, and it might be a little biased towards forwards. But if a D-man has a great game or a great week and shuts down some elite players, I'll give him some recognition. But if you don't like me being biased towards forwards, then fuck you. It's my segment. All right, so to start things off, sorry, I had to whip my whistle. With a record this week, this guy, he got it done for his team. 2 wins against potential playoff teams, including Nashville and Chicago. 11 points, 8 goals on, I believe it was 13 shots. Like, he had a 40% shooting percentage at least, and +6 for the week. Our first Rebel of the week is going to be Dallas Star center Salty Milk Bags.
Fucking Brett.
Fucking Brett. All right, that guy, he played for good teams this week. One of his wins came across, who was it, San Jose. Not a good start for their week, so, but with the other 2 games he played, he played admirably, and, Dallas didn't have a great start to the week, but they were solid, and he was a big reason for that, so that's why he's our Western Conference Rebel of the Week. Moving on to the Eastern, this guy, this was a 1-game performance that really stood out to me. He had a Hattie in the game. It was on away ice. He's playing against an Ottawa squad that was fielding Freak and Slamorama. And, those 2 guys, anytime they get on the ice, they're going to grind your face off and just hit you and disrupt your offensive momentum. In a convincing win, 5-2, the Montreal Canadiens right winger lefty certainly made it a tough outing for the Ottawa Senators that game. So he's our Eastern Conference Rebel of the Week, Montreal right winger, lefty.
I like the names you've been bringing up. Both players that had good weeks, and definitely Milkbags was a fairly close mention for the lineup of the week as well. But the segment does continue with our next man living in the sea here. Take it away, my man. Let's hear what's going on with the AHL.
Well, due to being the first week of the season, we're not going to do Players of the Week. We're going to give some teams some shout-outs. Fast start teams. Stockton Heat, led by Coach Crass, and the dominant Datsuk. The 7-2 Portland Pirates, with iChip at the helm, and their top swashbuckler, Showtime X88. The Springfield Falcons, giving up the fourth best, least amount of goals in the league with 23 GA. And the damn San Jose Goals, who ended week 1 on a 6-game win streak, best in the league. Off to a tough start. A big surprise here in the number 1 spot, the Bridgeport Sound Tigers. Landon Noob running the team. It's a long season, they'll probably rebound. Secondly, miserable start, the Reign. The Ontario Reign. Multiple cup winners all over the roster. Chemistry, guys that have played together forever. I don't think they're very deep, though. It'll be interesting to see what they do from here on out. And the Monsters, another team led by some guys, so Titletown, veteran, Westerhoff, veteran. Tough start to the season for Lake Erie with 4 overtime losses, but they'll probably be able to turn that around. Next week we'll check back in, and we'll see what happens. Power rankings, lines of the week, and the Rebels corner player of the week as well. It's very special. From now on, whenever someone wins player of the week, Rebel's going to shoot his guns off, right off the hip. You guys
I say that I'm a believer in Portland.
I want to say that I don't associate myself with any of these stereotypes. But thank you, Eric. Good stuff in the AHL. I know this show isn't primarily AHL, but we want to keep you guys on the spotlight here as much as we can. Get you guys in the know, so thank you, Eric, for that. This is a good segment. Next up, we've got the LGHL Top 10.
Just a little taste. Y'all be good.
Next up. Next up, we've got the top 10 power rankings. Myself, Fi, and Gary are going to alternate on the top 10 teams that we felt in this week. We use a combination of record, teams they played against, and just other stats that not just record, which is top 10. Sometimes stats that not just record play as far as teams that are top of the standing and the bottom of the standing. So, we are going to start this off with Garrett. Garrett, take it away.
Alright, for our number 10 spot, we have the Montreal Canadiens, led by Snake Rules, aka Gogan, and Flo Pooch, who's Lectorius. They did have a 5-4 week. They didn't have the best week. I mean, like pretty much an average week on paper. They had some key wins against Detroit and Tampa Bay, and then some key losses against the Islanders, Florida, and Buffalo. Their standouts are Lefty, who went 2-1, and then also was Rebels Corners Player of the Week, and then also led by Gogan, who had one perfect week, 2 goals, 5 assists, and a +6. So yeah, they pretty much had a good week. I think they'll only improve from there.
You got to figure J-Rules will know what to do. Maybe get a couple players in a free trade at the end of the season to make the playoff push.
You never know.
Kidding, Jay, but not really. At number 9, take it away, 5.
All right, number 9, Jay and the boys make their first appearance on the top 10 this season. The Detroit Red Wings. These guys had a pretty solid week. They're leading their division 5-2-2 on the week. They had a pretty good win against the quick-starting Florida Panthers. They shut them out 2-0. So that's a good win on the week. Tampa Bay, a tight loss. Really, these guys are looking like they're playing people tough. A lot of close 2-1-goal games, at least this week. And they're grinding out some wins. Players like CJ, 11 points on the week, 5 goals, 6 assists, so he's getting it done. Not only shooting, but making playmaking abilities and getting it to his goal scorers. When you got an owner like Jay and he puts together a good team, you expect weeks like this. So it's good that these guys got a good, quick start to the season, especially considering they got Ozzy on defense. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but Ozzy's one of their defensemen, and to go 5-2-2 in close games really says a lot about the rest of the team around them. So here's a shot to you guys.
I hope you know that isn't Ozzy, by the way.
That's not Ozzy?
It's not Ozzy. Ozzy is on Carolina.
Then it's his son, and his son has already surpassed his father.
Whoever it is.
Why don't you have another swig there, Fi, while I move on to number 8. Number 8, we have got the Dallas Stars, led by owner Panda, put in a solid week of 5-4 or 6-3, either one. We were still ranking them here based on their wins, particularly over a very, very hot Chicago team. A win over Nashville. Close loss to Edmonton, 3-2. So they beat some very good teams this week. They lost to Minnesota pretty big. Lost to Colorado 5-1. Their last game's not in from St. Louis, but again, another team that you just gotta figure, they're off to a good start and they're going to continue to do so. Excellent management group with Panda and Briere. Briere is going to do everything he can to carry and dominate the games he's in. I really like what they have on defense with Panda, Matt Murr, Hot Rivet. Both 3 good defensemen. Considering when you look at most of these teams, some teams don't even really have a true first pairing. So, and of course at forward they've got Briere, Eddie the Eagle, Milkbags and Flash playing together, I'm sure. Get Pissed On, McDonut. So some solid depth all around for that team. I like the start they had. I'm sure they're going to continue their success throughout the season. Garris, feel free to take number 7.
Number 7, we have the Washington Capitals. They did go 6-2 1 of the week, led by Smitty and the infamous Hopkins. I would have to say their standout would be Buddy Roberts. He did go, I think, 2-0-1, 7 goals, 8 assists, pretty even numbers. +4, usually gets crap for just being himself. To be quite frank, Smitty did go 4-0-1. 2.9 goals against, and 81 save percentage. They did beat New Jersey, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, and the Rangers, but they did lose to Detroit and the Islanders. I wouldn't say they took me by surprise, but I feel like they surpassed their expectations that they had.
They definitely played quite a couple difficult teams that are all in the higher end of the standings this season.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be fun to see how the division pans out this season.
Yeah, for sure. Where's our Rebel at for number 6?
Sorry, guys. I heard a noise. I thought it was Obama coming for my guns.
Oh, my goodness. Fine, we're at number 6, my dude. Take it away.
Number 6.
We the Rebels and we ready!
We're at number 6, my dude.
These guys had another good week. They are second in their division here in the Western Conference. 12 points, 6-3 on the week, and boy is this team stacked. You got Dutch, you've got Ao, you've got Seji, who is just lighting stuff up. Even Rifleman. Rifleman had a good week. I played some club with him before the season started. knowing he was making a switch to 4. That guy's plus 14. You can't say anything about it. That guy has a great week. Renato, obviously, he made the lineup of the week as goalie. You got the best player in the game, Bass 91. I mean, what else can you say about these guys? I anticipate we're going to see them quite often this season on the top 10.
Yep, sure. Minnesota definitely. I thought they had a good team going in, but I was unsure with their defense and how well Renato would play coming back, and it definitely played extremely well.
I wonder how Rifleman would consider himself top 10 left wing now. His claims of a top 10 left defenseman. Let's see how it plays out for forward.
We got the unofficial mascot of LGHL Access making a rare appearance.
All right, at number 5, I've got the LA Kings with owner Dave, SJU Soccer, GM Space Jam. Look, no surprises from this team, just like most of these teams are seeing. This is a very talented and experienced team. I feel that they've got some extremely good steals in bidding. Jake, Proudgate dad, went for $2 million, which is very low considering what he's gone in the past couple seasons. Canucks at 3.5 is very solid as well. And you figure they've got, and with Lundqvist, of course, another guy that's been around on a lot of Dave's team. You figure their top 2 lines can beat almost any line in this league. So, having that is going to go a long way. They went 7-2 on the week. Losses to Minnesota and Winnipeg. Minnesota being one of our teams in the top 10 here. Big wins over Calgary. Anaheim was another win, 2-1. 7-2 over Arizona. 6-5 win. Edmonton, and a 4-2 win tonight over Nashville. I like what LA is doing. They're going to keep doing. They're going to keep winning games and continue to breeze through the regular season.
All right, with number 4, we're going to bring it to the Nashville Predators, one of my former team a long time ago, ran by great ownership, to be kind. Shout out to season 19 in Nashville. They're ran by the ever so great Thank the God and Yancer. They did go 5-4, but some positives to that week. Angel, IOHL great, had 4 goals, 6 assists, +3, 2-1, so generating about 40% of their wins on the week. That's pretty good. Yancer did go 4-2, 80% of their wins on the week. Did have a 3.5 goals against, but looking at how goalies perform in this league, it's pretty, it's good stats, 77 save percentage. It's about the average. They did beat Chicago, who had a really good week, and they did beat Anaheim. They did lose to Dallas, Minnesota, and LA, which are all teams on this list. So, personally, I wouldn't feel hurt if I lost to those teams. Of course, I'd want to win, but they certainly exceeded, surpassed their expectations that they had on the season so far. But, it's a 9-week season. Let's see how it plays out.
All right, Sean, you're burning over there on the mic. I'll save you and move it on over to 5 here, number 3. But yeah, Nashville, before 5 starts, Nashville is even though their record wasn't as good as Dallas or Minnesota, I feel like some of the teams they beat was a little bit more significant and definitely a little more worthy of mentioning them a little higher in the standings. 5, take it away. Number 3, my dude.
Number 3, we got this week the New York Islanders. Team ran by beat-up cakes. This guy, year in and year out, he's putting up points and putting together teams that seem to make a pretty good run in the playoffs. He's obviously got his guys Korea and Jewel together, and anytime you see that line up against you that night, you can pretty much count up an L in the loss column. They lost tonight to the lowly Devils. It was against Gerg's line. They had their third line out there. Close game, 3-2. So that really shows how deep this team is, considering they can play with a line like that and keep it a close game even with their third line. Guys like Devin on defense. He might actually be playing offense this season. Is that true?
Yeah, he's playing forward, I think.
Yeah, I think he's playing forward. At +7, 8 points, pretty solid. You got Mindhunter who made the lineup of the week at goalie. Cakes, like I mentioned. When you have a guy like Ryan on your second line, you probably got a pretty solid team. Look for these guys to do some pretty big things here in the upcoming weeks.
Yeah, I definitely like how the Islanders built. Not as good as the Islanders were built in the past 3 seasons. But Cakes
If only you had a player that you didn't trade away called 51004.
Wow.
Maybe a little deeper in the playoffs.
Who the hell's 51004? I don't see him in the league anymore. But yeah, good team built by Cakes, of course, as always. Look to see his team in these rankings for pretty much throughout the whole season. Number 2, I've got Murky's Penguins with GM Bradley. This team, going into bidding was already dangerous enough. Then they added weapons like James, Easy Mac, NFLD Tim, primetime on defense, a little high at 7.5. But some good players all around, and also some names that some of us aren't too sure about. Everyone says second tags. We know that's not true. You would never. But they beat some really good teams this week. That's honestly what made me put Pittsburgh at number 2 here. They destroyed Philadelphia 8-3. Beat the Islanders 4-3. Beat the Panthers 4-3. They had 3 losses that were kind of big. 6-2 against Columbus. 7-4 against the Devils, who are a pretty decent team, and 5-2 to the Capitals. But I feel beating Florida and the Islanders, who I feel like had very good weeks, those wins, I think, pushed them up to the second power rankings this week. Looks, again, just like Cakes, look for this team to be in the top 10 throughout the whole season. Solid week by Smirky and his whole crew. I think the X factor for this team is going to be their third line. Can those guys pick up wins? If so, this team's going to be pretty tough to stop going through the season.
Yeah, they picked up some season 18 Abbotsford guys that won the cup. KB Smith kind of snuck his guys onto the team, like Swatos, Gabe, and I'm not sure who the other guy is. But yeah, I mean, they did pick up some big names in the AHL, for pretty cheap down there for a good third line.
Smirky's definitely got that team on the right track. So, enough about Smirky. Let's get to that number 1. Garris, let's see it.
The Chicago Blackhawks, team that I played earlier in the week. Tough game, overtime. Certainly, according to some people, they did a lot better than many people thought. I mean, they had a 6-2-1 week. Led by Serpy and Mentor. They have PVT, Cronksy, Dork. Cronksy leading the way, along with McLean and PVT in points with 11. For wins and losses on the week, they did beat my Arizona team. They did beat Minnesota. They did beat Bryson's Oilers. They put a smackdown on San Jose 7-3, and then they did beat St. Louis. They did lose to Nashville, and they did lose to Dallas. But other than that, and also Winnipeg, I mean, those are kind of, I wouldn't say expected losses, but the games were
Go either way.
fairly close. I mean, well, besides the Nashville game. But, those are, I guess, games that you kind of see they would lose. But other than that, they certainly did a little better than a lot of people thought. I would say a very underrated team, but with the way that the West is, I'd like to see they could probably come out of their division.
If someone can sit there and tell me that on Sunday before games, oh yeah, Chicago will go 6-3 this week, I'd say fuck off and go back to the AHL. You know what I mean? Because this team, they have good players. There's no doubt about that. Awesome centers with PVT Killa and Dork. Dork playing with his buddy Bones. some guys that have been in the NHL, but nothing, not like an LA team that you're expecting to see dominate. Not an Islanders team, teams like that. Chicago definitely surprised all of us with the not so popular owner GM duo of goalies. So Serp's playing very well. I think they should continue to give him the 6-3 start. They've definitely been the better goalie.
Oh yeah, without doubt.
So I think Chicago, the West is tough, like you said. Not an easy division, considering that they have teams like Minnesota, St. Louis, Dallas, Nashville, all teams that are playing very well, and 3 of the 4 were in our top 10 this week. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can keep it up and continue their success week to week here once teams start catching on to what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Flying from Chicago.
I said it before the show, and those guys, I played them in preseason. They looked like they were going to be strong. We'll see if that continues, just based off of the schedule that they're going to play, and some of the moves they might make later on in the season. But starting off, number 1 on the power rankings, week 1, I definitely expected them to be on the list. They showed that they could potentially be a team to reckon with there in the Western Conference, and week 1 proves it.
Hey, Rice, haven't heard from you in a while, my dude. Here to take comment on any of these teams in the top 10.
Probably drowned it over there.
And he's dazing off into the light. All right, E-Rice.
He's seeing the light. He's finding God.
Yeah. All right.
A little shaky down here.
Okay. Are you here with us now?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay.
Hotboxing that pineapple.
Did you hear my question? Okay. Care to comment on the top 10 power rankings? Any of the teams in there? Any of the teams that didn't make it?
The E-Rice picks, the Eric E picks from Under the Ocean. Be Nashville at number 3, Pitt at number 2, and the LA Kings at number 1.
I like it.
Simple as that.
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, I'd say so.
I like it.
H. Wood for the cup.
H. Wood for the cup. Long
H.
live,
Wood for the cup.
Hollywood and Manchester, right?
Yeah, getting resurrected.
Smash Clams! Let's go.
Oh, God.
But, all right, so that wraps up the power rankings, and that wraps up our whole show, guys. I'd like to thank you guys for being on the show with me. We look forward to doing this just about every week. Can't see us not.
I love you.
We have other guys that couldn't make it tonight, but they will be here on other weeks. I'll take their word for it for sure. So, Phi, Garris, E-Rice, thank you all for being a part of the show this week. We'll see you all next week, and have a good one, guys. Enjoy your weekend, and good luck next week.
You too.
If I may say, it's for the community.
That's right. For the community.
For the community.
I'm not the table you can come and lay your cup down on now. I'm not the shoulder for a bag, don't wanna carry a heavy load. I'm not the road that you take when you're looking for a shortcut. I ain't the stepping stone to be stepping on, I ain't nobody's crutch. I ain't the money man with your money man, you ain't looking at me. I'm not the cheap one looking at me, son, you ain't